Oh, this thing's vicious, man. I can't wait to show you. Let's just jump there right now. Boom! Hey guys, thanks for checking into another video with GSG. Of course, I'm Eddie. I'll be showing you around the Polaris Slingshot SL. Again, this is the Polaris Slingshot SL. And man, I just got up here to Crystal Lake, which is at the very top of Azusa Canyons. And let me tell you, man, this car is an absolute blast to drive. And with how I'm cheesing right now, you guys won't believe the list that I made of all the things that this car is lacking, the things that I hate about this car. And I think I'm just gonna scrap it. Okay, I'm gonna scrap it because that's what this car is about. I was complaining about vibration. I was complaining about the suspension being off. I was complaining about the whole thing rattling. But as a Polaris Slingshot enthusiast, that's exactly what you're here for. Many of you guys are probably coming from a motorcycle accident and probably ditching the motorcycle to get one of these. Or maybe you guys are tired of a commuter car like my hybrid and you guys are deciding to get one of these. Whichever option you guys may pick, this is an absolute incredible option and a great alternative to some of you guys that are riding bikes, and especially for those of you guys that have gotten in accidents. Man, my heart's with you guys. Now, although I did take it up the canyons, this is not where this car shines at, okay? The car really does shine in the city for all the attention and for cruising, just to kind of get around and get a feel for it. If you drive like me throughout these canyons, you're gonna realize that this car does lack in a lot of the sportiness and the suspension feel. And that doesn't take away from what this car is about. The amount of attention you get for what the price is, man, I'm excited to show you guys what I've already filmed. You know, I was actually driving up here. I usually tape this part first, then the drive, but actually I taped the drive first because I wanted you guys to capture all the energy, and hopefully it translates into the camera and you guys watching there at home. But again, this car is, oh, this thing's vicious, man. I can't wait to show you. Let's just jump there right now. But before we do, I'm building a community here. I'm not just a random guy on YouTube just dropping videos, although that's really what I am. I'm really somebody that wants to build a community. And that requires you guys. Again, this is a community you guys can tap into. All you guys have to do is go in and comment below, talk amongst each other, and feed off each other's ideas, okay? Let's get to the drive. Okay, here we are in the back of the Polaris Slingshot SL. Let's take it for a drive, okay? Now we're in the canyons. We're going up to Crystal Lake. If you guys aren't familiar, that's the very top of the Azusa Canyons mountain road. Beautiful area to take the family and all that stuff too. We'll see if it's a perfect place to take a Polaris Slingshot, okay? Now, as you can tell, the visor and the camera is shaking a lot. Hopefully the camera doesn't pick up too much of that up. But if it is, we're just gonna have to roll with it because that's what this car is about, okay? This car is about that ultimate raw driving experience that we all come to love. You know, as car guys, we really love it when we can feel the road, we can feel the car working, and this car offers exactly that. This car feels so mechanical. Over the bumps, it starts shaking, it starts doing some, you know, really crazy, vicious things. And I think, again, that's what we all come to love about these kind of cars, that they keep us engaged. You have a long day at work, get in a car like this, you go up the canyons like this, and you're like, what happened earlier today? You forget why you were so pissed off. And again, that's what this car offers. It offers that ability to be present. I mean, if you're still dissociating after driving a car like this, 70, 80 miles an hour through the canyons like this, something is wrong with you, man. Seriously, something is wrong with you. You gotta be in the present moment to be driving a car like this. And again, it offers that raw driving experience that if you were to crash, you know you're gonna die in this thing. You know, and that's what I live for, man. I live to push myself beyond the limits of life. You know, there's a fine line between life and death. And what I like to do is I like to get right up into that line of life and death and push it as far back as I can. You know, that's just my personality. Most of you guys might say I have an issue, I gotta see a therapist. You know what? You guys are probably right. I got philosophical on you guys. Anyways, check this out. All that shakiness, all the vibration, that entire viciousness of, you know, how raw this car feels, that's what this car is about, baby. It's about getting connected with the road, getting connected with the surroundings. I mean, I could literally lick my fingers, reach down and touch some asphalt right now because I'm only like about 8 inches from the damn ground, you know. But let's take it on some corners, man. As you guys will see in this B-roll clip, there's some tight turns that this car cannot handle. Okay, this, for the most part, it does handle some other turns, like the wider turns, it handles very well. But those unexpected bumpy roads, it doesn't handle that well. Of course, there's a lot of tram lining. Just look at the rims, just look at the car. But that's not to say that that doesn't take away from the experience of what this car is really about. Again, this car is really about that raw driving experience. I did do a couple burnouts, so that's going to give us that, you know, extra traction that we need back there. Again, it's only one wheel back there, not only controlling the power, but controlling the stability of the damn car. It's a belt driven, it's not chain driven. That could either be good or bad, up for you to decide. Also, I gotta mention, this roof right here saved my ass. Okay, if it wasn't for this, man, I'd be scorching in the blistering heat. So I'm glad that the owner had put this in. However, he did jerry-rig it, so you can start hearing this shaking. Maybe I shouldn't have said it, you know. Sometimes things speak for themselves, you know. All right, let's go. Let's keep going. Now, the thing about this car is that it doesn't portray a lot of confidence in those tight turns, high speeds. Again, this is a car where you could really just be engaged in. But nevertheless, I would have liked to see a better suspension, possibly tuned by Yamaha. That would have been a really great thing, just considering that the fact that this car really does shake a lot. And when it starts coming to those into those bumpy roads, this thing again is tram line, so it goes, you know, and it pushes you off the line. I also expected this car to oversteer more than it does, but I actually find it to understeer more often than not. All right, everyone. Question of the day. Which is your favorite angle of the Polaris Slingshot? Is it this profile shot? Is it this one like it is for me right here? This is the money shot for me. This one right behind here. Maybe this side. Let me know, drop it down in the comments below. Which is your guys' favorite angle of the Polaris Slingshot? Maybe this one right here. That looks pretty mean. Oh yeah, that's probably my second best. And then maybe this one right here. Yep, I'm back. For this part, we're just gonna do a simple walk around. I'm pretty sure this is not the first video you are going to see, or not the first video you have already seen. So let's do a quick walk around. I'll show you guys some of the features that I like about it and some things that make it pop. Okay. I'm starting with those circular headlights. There's 4 in total. Anytime in Los Angeles and I see these 4 headlights, it's obvious to me that it's a Polaris. You see this air flows right into the brakes there and into the suspension. For those of you guys who are into suspension, let's get a little close-up of that. Like I said, I wish there was more damping features to it. But again, beggars can't be choosers. We got the 20-inch wheel here with the SL trim. Of course, the lower end models get the 17-inch, or I think the 19-inch for the newer ones. We'll skip the interior for now, get to that in the driver's side. You got these 2 sick LED tail lights, along with this LED strip that they snuck in there. This one also has the spoiler that I've never seen in any other model, so it's pretty unique that this one has it. Again, we got the, I gotta confirm that, so the number down here, but I believe this is 20 inches right here, 305 millimeters in the back. This is what you see in some of the hyper cars. You got that one shock coming down. The fact that they're able to balance it with just one shock back here is actually pretty incredible. Right here, you got the gas cap on that side. Now let's just hop on in here, okay? Now before I do, as you can tell, this is like any other car that you've ever been in. You know, you got the steering wheel, this also tilts and telescopes. This one right here has the RPM on this side. Speedometer, I laugh a little because you see 220. You got the 3 clutch pedals, of course. This is where you lock the tilt features. Right here, again, not much to talk about, but this is what you do get in the SL trim. Okay, you get the Bluetooth, you get the backup camera. Right here are some of the simple features: volume, changing the settings, you know, mode and all that stuff. Again, not that great. Right here you have the hazard lights, so you see that on this side right here. This one here is actually to start the car. So what you do is you stick the key in there, you turn it just a little bit, and then you press the button with the clutch pedal. Boom, you're in business. Now what you got down here is the traction control. Now this is how you turn off, again, traction control. Actually does a really good job at turning off all the controls right here, just like any other manual car, except for 1 through 3rd gear. This one has really short throws, so it makes it really incredible for all those drifting. And now 4th gear through 5th gear, of course, those are better for the highway speeds, you know, 70, 80, shoot, even 90 miles an hour for some of you crazy guys. Right here you have, again, the e-brake. What I noticed that you really have to pull this thing up, just because I did pull it up. It was on a slight downhill, and what I noticed that the freaking car was going down without me. Not by much, obviously I caught it, but nevertheless, you do have to pull this thing up. It only weighs 1,700 pounds, produces about 173 horsepower and about 166 pound-feet of torque, which again, power to rate ratio on this car is absolutely incredible. Look at some ground clearances. It really has a low center of gravity, about 5 inches off the ground from here, and about the seat, I'd say maybe about 8 inches. So when you're sitting there, you could definitely reach out and touch the asphalt. That's something you're into. What you also notice is that there's no overlays to the car, whether in the front or even in the back right here. There's no, you know, there's no body that hangs over. There's no body that hangs over the wheels. And that's great because it's great with handling, and there's not so much body roll. However, this car did have some body roll, but that design is to minimize the body roll that you experience. All right guys, and to conclude this video, this car makes an all-around alternative to bike riding, or for those of you guys that have been injured. It's great for the city, it's great for some cruises, not really as great for the canyons unless again you're cruising. But you got to realize I'm the guy that drives maybe 60, 70, maybe 80 miles an hour throughout the canyons, and this one didn't put up to that test, although in certain times it did handle that pretty well. But let me know what you guys think. Again, jump onto the community down below, mention your thoughts. Is this a car you're interested in? What's your favorite angle of the car? Enjoy the POV drive.